What's up people, how's it going? This is Bharat and welcome back to yet another video. As you guys know very well, we have been doing a lot of Kiwi related videos in the last couple of months. Prior to that, we also did a lot of Flutter related videos. And one of the important questions that keeps coming back is Kiwi better than Flutter? So in this video, I want to analyze both the pros as well as cons of Kiwi against Flutter and give you guys a comprehensive understanding of which to go for when you're going to be picking up a cross-platform toolkit for your mobile app development. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Let's get this video started straight away. Alright, so let's dive straight in and just make one simple point very clear. I just want to make one point that I'm no way related to either Flutter or Kiwi, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. So we very well know that both of them are very good cross-platform frameworks. Even though Kiwi started as a desktop-first framework and Flutter started as a mobile app-first development framework. So these are the two different paradigms that you're going to try to compare. With the first one is going to be the pros of Kiwi over Flutter. The first thing that as soon as you start using Kiwi, that you notice that it's going to be faster development. It's got a faster development life cycle for a Python developer. So like me, when I started with Python a couple of 4 years ago, and I started picking up Kiwi a year back, I found it extremely easy to pick and understand how the library works, even though I did not have much understanding of the GUI portion of things. So I did very well understand what GUI creation is, what is a widget, what is a layout. Everything was very clear as soon as I picked up Kiwi as my framework. The second important point when it comes to pros of Kiwi is that it's got a little bit of a tighter learning curve compared to Flutter, meaning that both of them are almost on the same space of learning curves when you want to build GUI applications for the very first time. Even though you can pick a framework and get started with creating your application in no time, Flutter uses Dart, which might be a little bit difficult to understand considering it's kind of a new programming language. Even though Dart came out 12 years ago, it's still not been used that frequently, probably before 5 years back. So only for the last 3 to 4 years or 4 to 5 years has been Dart becoming popular. While you compare it with Python, which has got lot more resources to learn, and you got a much easier learning curve when it compared to that. So that's pretty much my stand on this. When you say the learning curves, learning curve, you want to learn the language first as well as the framework along with it. And I do believe that the Kiwi along with Python has got a slightly upper learning curve in terms of being it easier to learn with a lot of resources available. Are you a student or a working professional who's looking for a great career in software development? Then you have to think about all the aspects like what's trending in the industry and what kind of questions are being asked in interviews. What's the thought process behind architecture of great applications like Google, Amazon, Zomato, and Ola? How to improve your coach of ranking. Check out unacademy.com/course/career as a software developer, and you'll be taken to this link. All you need to do is just check out all the upcoming live classes that are being taken by top educators in their industry. They will walk you through their own industry experience and interact with a lot of guests like HR and industry leaders of top companies, where they will answer all of the questions that are raised by you. In live episodes, you get an opportunity to ask tech HRs about top 20 interview questions and industry leaders directly about their recruitment process in startups and MNC, what's the eligibility and how to apply and how they build such great products. Not only this, you can participate in mock interviews and learn courses on programming languages, cloud computing, blockchain and crypto, tech aspects of digital marketing and data analytics. One of India's leading digital marketing experts will be coming live on a weekly basis and teaching digital marketing using practical projects and tools. Get to understand the technical aspects in a fun and easy way. You'll find live projects and interactive episodes that you do not find that often in YouTube. So this is going to be a very useful course for everybody who wants to start with digital marketing. You do not need to shell out a lot of money to get the subscription. You will need to spend 999 per year or 83 rupees per month. Or if you choose to use my promo code, which is CoderMonk, you'll get 10% off the subscription and just spend only 75 bucks per month. All the links that are discussed here are in the description below. Check them out and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as well. Coming to the third point, which is also one of the most important point, which is the speed of development. I've seen a lot of mobile applications / desktop applications that have been built super fast with Kiwi. even though some people might say that it's not that fast enough to build and stuff like that, but I have seen a lot of applications built super fast. When I say super fast, I'm saying a complete application in probably 2 days of time. And if you're expecting to have a good complete material like design, you can still use the Kiwi MD, which is actually available as part of the Kiwi itself, which is an additional library that you add on to, and you have all the necessary widgets that you need to pick and start writing. So that is my pros when it comes to Flutter, because Flutter as well, you got to have a little bit of understanding of how the widgets work, what is imperative style, what is the declarative style of programming. You need to understand what is a stateless widget, what is a stateless widget, and stateful widget, and all of these learning is required to get started with it. However, if you are like me, I know Python already, I want to start with some kind of cross-platform app development, I can just pick out Kiwi, start installing it, and get started with creating my application in about no time. So that I think is kind of a little bit of an easier curve, as well as a little bit of an advantage over Flutter in today's age. Alright, I'm sure we cannot write off Kiwi or Flutter as the best for 2021 yet. Both these frameworks are sending out multiple releases on a very regular basis. And one important thing to note here is that Flutter is managed by Google, which is a huge corporation, along with lots of developers, while the Kiwi is actually a community project that is being held and run by open source developers who are contributing to the project on their free time. So you cannot write anything off yet saying this is good, while it's also important that we understand the cons of Kiwi over Flutter. The first important thing that comes to my mind when I talk about Kiwi is also a lot of people will put this forward, is the ability of the library itself to compile to a mobile application. So like I said at the start of this video, that Kiwi was started as a desktop first development language, or desktop first development framework. So if you want to pick out Kiwi in one hand and you want to put the same framework, use the same widgets, and try to compile it into a mobile application, that is going to be a lot of compile issues that are going to be present. This is true. I'm not trying to say it is not true. But if you take either Android or iOS, the first comment is the compilation problems that is going to come out. One thing that I would want to address at this point of time, in my opinion, is that these problems are all solvable. When you talk about a broken pipeline problem, right, you cannot compile something into the native code. Say you want to compile it to an APK, which you cannot compile, and there's always there's a broken pipe somewhere in the compilation, and all of these are always solvable. All you need to do is make sure to check your system. Always make sure to check all the requirements are satisfied in your system. And in no time, you will find that this is actually much more easier to do rather than the first time developers. So if you ask the first time developers, the first comment is that it's not compiling into an APK. So I find that Kiwi is not good. Probably yes for the first time developers, but always you need to understand that a compilation problem can easily be solved, while there is a problem with the library itself, it's difficult to solve. So that I would try to give that to Dart or the Flutter, because there's a very less compilation problems as far as I have seen compared to the Kiwi ones, primarily because the entire ecosystem is managed by Dart itself or by Google itself. So there is no lot of open source projects or open source libraries that is being used by Dart to compile into the final Flutter code, as well as Dart's own VM is being used when you're compiling your Flutter code. So I think in that sense, I would give the points to Flutter for being a good mobile application first cross-platform toolkit over Kiwi. Another important point that people might put forward in the start of when they start using both Flutter and Kiwi is that Flutter has got a much better hot reload feature, but Kiwi does not. The hot reload feature is a very simple one in Flutter, where you write your code and you save the application, and you see that the application gets built automatically onto your emulator or your real device. This is called the hot reload feature and is quite famous because of the Flutter's the Dart's JIT, which is just-in-time compilation, as well as the ahead-of-time compilation features that is part of the Dart itself. However, one thing that people might overlook is the fact that even Kiwi does have the hot reload feature. It's actually an external library called as Kaki, where you just use it and you got your plugin hot reload feature for your application. I've used it in my recent series on Kiwi versus Flutter. We built a complete application using both Kiwi and Flutter, and in that I talked about using the Kaki for faster UI development part of things. So I think that is one more important con that people might put forward at the initial startup stage. Even though this hot reload feature is not inbuilt as far as the Kiwi is concerned, it's still possible to use it as a plug and play mechanism, right? So that I think is the second important point that I wanted to make right now. The third important point or the con when it comes to Kiwi over Flutter is the ability to create UI widgets from scratch. Now, when I say ability to create, I'm talking about the fresh blank application, and you want to create something like a header, a body, and a footer. And this is something is going to be a basic requirement. You often find that Kiwi does not have this mechanism of doing or putting faster widgets on the UI. Rather, it has a very simple blank screen wherein you need to put everything by yourself, make sure to add things, you need to color the things, and all of these are going to be available. In terms of that, I would highly recommend that Flutter, on the other hand, is having this ability to create faster UI with also a good amount of resourced widgets. So all you need to do is use a scaffold in Flutter, and you have a body, you have a header, as well as a footer button present. So that's the difference between Kiwi and Flutter, because the one, on the other hand, which is the Flutter, has got a much easier way of creating and inserting widgets, and also makes it much more beginner friendly, while in Kiwi you have a very blank space to begin with, and then you need to add all of the things that you need to do in a one piece by piece manner. So I think that's going to be the two differences or the three differences when it comes to the cons of Kiwi over Flutter. And one more important point might people ask in the comment section is, what do you think about the performance of these cross-platform frameworks? And I would highly recommend you guys to not look at the performance. Two important reasons there. One important reason is you can never be equivalent to the native code that is running. You have an Android code and you're trying to compare it with a cross-platform code. The second important thing is that when you try to compare two cross-platform toolkits or the frameworks in terms of performance like space and CPU utilization, you are not making justice to the cross-platform toolkit. Primarily because these cross-platform toolkits are built specifically targeting the developers in mind, and to make their life super easy, they wanted to create faster UI, faster applications. That's the important reason why these cross-platform toolkits are built. So you have a little bit of a bigger APK size, you have a little bit of a performance lag, but at the end of the day, you have a much better, faster applications that are created. So that's a kind of like a balance that is between these two things. So I want to go inside the performance of these two features or these two frameworks. So if you're interested to know what exactly is the performance difference, highly recommend you guys to check out my recent series of videos on Kiwi versus Flutter, where I built one application, which is going to be the action application. I built it on both Kiwi as well as Flutter, and by the end of the series I compared their performances, including the CPU, the memory, and also all the storage heaps and things like that. We went in depth and compared these things, so you can check that out. Alright, so all the important things that I mentioned in this video is to just point out the fact that Kiwi is definitely a strong contender for the cross-platform app development space, which makes the desktop first development much more easier, and also a very easy way and a great way to build desktop applications in a given amount of time. And the Flutter, on the other hand, like I said at the start, is actually mobile first cross-platform development framework. So you will find that it's easier for mobile app first development. So on one hand, you have Kiwi, which is great for Kiwi desktop, and Flutter, which is great for mobile app development. So that's going to be my verdict for this video. By the end of 2021, we will have another video and see which is going to be much better. Does Flutter overtake the Kiwi in the desktop race? Because as you all know, the Flutter is trying to gain access into both desktop as well as web. Even though it's in nascent stages, there's a lot of things to do. You will still find how important or how much of a change does Flutter give over Kiwi in the upcoming months. So that's pretty much it, guys. We have done the comparison. We have seen which is good, what are the pros, what are the cons when it comes to Kiwi and Flutter, and I'm just going to finish my video right now. If you have any questions or suggestions, don't forget to drop them on the comment section below, and like this video. That helps with the algorithm, and stay subscribed, because in the coming weeks we're going to see a lot more videos on Kiwi as well as Flutter, and we're going to be taking a look into all different things related to software. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, it's Bharat. Peace out. Have a super awesome day.